Some people never know. Like a fool, I'm far away. Every night I hope and pray I'll be coming home to stay, and it's so. Some people never know. Some people can sleep at nighttime, believing that love is a lie. I'm only a person like you, love, and who in the world can be right all the right time? I know I was wrong, make it right, right. Only love can stand the test. Only you outshine the rest. Only fools take second best, but it's so. Some people never know. Hey folks, it's going to be a guitar lesson for Some People Never Know by Paul McCartney off the Wildlife album. I have to say, this is probably one of my all-time favorite hidden Paul McCartney gems off some of his solo works. I think it would have fared very well on any Beatles album. It's that strong a song. So let's get right into the lesson. The guitar's in standard tuning. There's no capo. The song's in three parts. That riff, we'll call it the kind of introduction riff part. The verses and the refrain. I'm going to save the riff for the end. I'm going to spend the most time on that just to get that down. And I think we can quickly go through the verses. There's pretty standard chord progressions. So let's start with the verse. Starts with an E. No one else will ever see. To a D. How much faith? To a C sharp minor. You have in me. To a B minor. Only fools, an A, would disagree. To an E, that it's so. D, some people, C sharp minor, never. B minor, no. A. So I'll just repeat that quickly. So it's an E, to a D, C sharp minor, to a B minor, to an A, to an E, to a D, and then C sharp minor, B minor, to an A. So that's the verses. And then the refrain starts with a C sharp minor again, or a C sharp minor seventh, whichever you prefer. I think I prefer the seventh. So it's a C sharp minor. Some people can sleep at nighttime. To an F sharp minor. Thanks, Paul, for going so high here. A little hard to sing. C sharp minor to an F sharp minor. Repeats 3 times. I'm only a person like you, love. So that's 3 times like that. C sharp minor to an F sharp minor. Then it goes, and who in the world, an A seventh, can be right? D, all the right time. To a D minor. I know I was wrong, make it right. Right. So I know it was wrong is, I know C sharp minor 7th was wrong. F sharp minor 7th, make it right. B minor, right. D minor, right. It goes back to the verse. Only love can stand the test. Only you outshine the rest. Only fools take second best. that's the verses and the refrains, and it just leaves us with the introduction riff. So this is a very famous chord progression. I'm not exactly sure what it's technically called, but it's basically A, D, E. But the A is a standard A, open A, just like that. And then the D, though, you're adding that with the open A. So I call it a D over A. And then you're going to slide that up 2 frets, same shape, and that's an E over A. So that's what I call it. So I've got an A, D over A, E over A. It's very, very common chord progression in tons of rock and roll songs. Let me think. Steve Miller does the... Paul, and I've Got a Feeling, does the A to a D over A. So it's very common. Again, I'm sorry if I'm not technically explaining it right, but let's get to the riff, and Some People Never Know. So he plays it very slow here. It starts with the A, and you start with the A bass note, open 5th string, and then you're going to do 3 upstrokes on the 2nd string, but the whole A chord. So it sounds something like this. And then you add the D back to the A. So that's the beginning of it. And then it goes D, A, E. So A, D, E, D, A, D, A. So a little hard to say it. I'll try to do it as slow as I can. I think if you just practice it and you know the song and you play it to the record, you can get, it's a little hard to explain exactly the strokes, but I think you can sound it out. It's just those chords, at least that's what I'm hearing. There might be a slightly different way to play it, but I find this sounds pretty close to the record and it's pretty easy to play, so that's the way I play it. So again. That's Some People Never Know by Paul McCartney, again off the Wildlife album. A really fantastic hidden gem. So glad I learned to play this song just to do this lesson, and now it's in my repertoire. So I really appreciate your watching. I really enjoyed this one. Have a great day.